Hi friends, welcome back to your channel. Sales is always fun. Today we'll be looking at the psychological tricks that is used in sales. Now why this chapter today? Reason number one, you can use it in your day-to-day lives. Two, you can use it to improve your sales. Three, you can be aware if somebody is using it on you. So this is primarily the reason why we thought we will talk on this subject today. The number one question asked to me is selling to a male different from selling to a female? The answer is yes. If you look at a product like car, the male will spend more time on its performance, how fast it goes, 0 to 100, in how many seconds and all that. While a woman would spend more time looking at its mileage, the kind of features, the safety features and all that. To understand the difference, let's study the brain of a male and of a female. Now in a male's brain and a female brain have more or less the same number of cells. But the female brain is smaller, I would say is more compact. And what really happens with the neuron connectivity? In a male brain, it is more between the front and the back. So because of which, if you have a task which needs high amount of focus and long time, men are generally good at it. But in a woman, what happens is, the neuron connection is between left to right, right to left and left to right. And this connection, the total number of neuron connection in a woman is far more than what is in a male brain. Now because of this right to left, left to right connection, one, they are very good at multitasking. They can do multiple tasks simultaneously, which explains why they are good at homemaking than a male. Also, if you see, because of this left-right combination, you cannot sell to a woman using only logic. You need to add some story. You need to make some emotions to sell to a woman. So this is primarily the difference. If you look at the way men do shopping, they would prefer to go shopping alone, finish it in no time and come back. But a woman would like to go with the family and friends, take everybody's opinion before buying the product. When it comes to brand loyalty, women are more loyal and they look behind the story behind the product, which sells to them. For a man, it is simple. It performs, yes, they are loyal. If it doesn't perform, it is not. So that's another difference between men and women. When it comes to buying gadgets, man would only go by what the expert in the field says. Women will look at it, but also she will look at the opinion of her friends and her peers, what they have bought. This is another major difference. Sex sells very well with men, but not with women because there is a lot of emotions. So these, and the way the brain is structured in such a way, a woman would be able to recall things of the past much better than that of a male. So if you are going to tell a story today to a woman, and if you try to change it after a few days, women will catch you off guard, saying that no, this is not what you told me. But with a male customer, yes, there's every chance that you can. Another difference between the male and a female brain purchase style is men would look at the immediate benefits, but women would look for a long-term benefits. And if she is a mother, if she is a mommy, her primary focus will be on the child's safety and comfort. She will look, is this safe enough for my kid? Is this comfortable for my kid? That will be her primary focus. So this is the difference between how a man and a woman buy. The next question that has come to me is to tell something about how do you manage in a service center. Because service center is a place where you can make and break a sale. And this is a place where customers come a bit angry. So how do you manage the angry customers? Well, we'll look into service center, how it should ideally be and how they should operate. First, I would suggest paint your walls pink or give a pink color dress to your people. Because pink has got a very big smoothing effect. People tend to calm down. Next is the olfactory, which is very powerful. Of all the senses that goes to the brain, olfactory reacts the quickest. The moment you get a good smell of food, your mouth starts watering. And the best perfume that you can use in a service center is lavender. The second choice is sandal, because this is known to cool down a person very well. Third is the hall in which they come and sit or where it operates. ensure it is very spacious, because this is a trick which is, this psychological game is played by in the supermarkets, where in the retail segment also, because if the walkway is broad, the customers are seen to be walking more slowly and looking for the product on the other sides. If the walkway is narrow, customers tend to walk fast and not seeing left, right. So if it is a spacious hall where they come and sit, they tend to cool down. Next, you need to have a good cushioned seat, because study after study says if the butt is happy, the brain is also happy. So ensure the customer gets a good cushioned seat to sit. And probably where he sits, you can keep a mirror in front of him. Because what happens is, when you are angry, sad, when you go stand in front of a mirror, we always try to put our best foot forward. Even if a child who is crying, you take in front of the mirror, he will try to stop crying and smile and play around. So this is inbuilt in all of us. So the moment the customer sees himself in front of the mirror, he will love to behave well. So he would probably cool down a lot. Similarly, when you customer sits to meet your executive, it would be a good idea if it is in a round table and you keep some snacks on the table, some nuts and things like that. Because when a customer is sitting eating nuts and somebody sits beside to him, there's a human tendency that we do not like to fire when we talk to someone. And especially somebody is to a right side, we would never fire, we would resist firing. So that would be a good idea to ensure that your executive sits to the right side of the customer, and the seat of course is very well cushioned. And still, if the customer is angry, he speaks something wrong, just remain cool, take a few deep breaths, look into the customer into his eye, don't exhibit any emotions, ask him, sir, can you explain what you said now? Very simple, the customer will come to terms with you. Well, these psychological tricks do work 85 to 90% of the time, because it does depend on the mood of the customer, and also if the concerned person is highly visual, kinesthetic or auditory, it may not work 100% of the time. But you can be rest assured the success is well above 80 to 90%, 85 to 90%, sorry. So let's see how we can use these tricks. When it comes to a call, so on your first call, because you need to impress the customer. So let's see what are the tricks there. Now, why the psychological tricks there? It is called as a halo effect. The customer will buy from you only if he likes you and trusts you. You and I, as a customer, behave the same way, right? We would buy from somebody whom we like and whom we trust. So some of these games that we can play there, some of the psychological tricks that we can play there are: one, you can do mirroring and matching, about which I've spoken in length in the previous episode, which is on rapport building. You can go through that. The next psychological trick that needs to be played on the customer is you need to exhibit your competence. The customer will trust you only if he sees that you are competent. And in addition to showing your competency, you should also be very confident. The way you stand in your posture, the way you speak, you should be very confident. And in fact, you can check one of the previous episodes, which is on first impression, where I've spoken in length as to what is to be done. And we'll look at some of it going forward. Another psychological trick is visit your customer quite often regularly. Because research after research says that when we see somebody regularly, we tend to build a liking for him or her. And we tend to behave that we know the person well. So the more often you visit, more regularly you visit, your customer develops a liking for you. Another interesting trick that you can play on the customer is you can laugh at yourself telling the kind of mistakes that you have made in the past. The moment you do that, the customer feels, yes, this guy is trustworthy. You can laugh at yourself, you can say the kind of mistakes, how vulnerable you are, what all you did, what mistakes you made. You can be upfront with the customer. We may think, no, will the customer think I'm bad, I'm useless? No, it works the other way around. Similarly, you can probably share some secret with the customer. You can tell the customer, sir, I would like to tell you a secret. Just on a casual talk, relating to your talk that you're having. I made this which I have not told people. These things make customer feel that you are somebody of his own. He tends to start taking a big liking for you. Next is smile when you meet the customer. Smile, look into his eyes. Trick psychological game that you can play is when you meet the customer, looking into his eyes, you smile. When you look into his eyes and smile, The oxytocin gets produced, which is a happy chemical gets produced in the customer, and that builds a bond between you and the customer. That builds a bond in the customer to tell, hey, he is my man. The other way that you can make customer like is give him compliment. And when you compliment him, be very clear and specific. Just don't compliment for the sake of compliment. I've seen my colleagues, women colleagues, actually when they walk to a customer place, they see a woman there. They normally, regularly I see them complimenting them on the dress, saying that this dress is good, it suits you, and things like that. So compliment the customer, but ensure it's genuine, because customer will easily find if you're telling a lie. The next trick is to use the customer's name. Now this is very interesting because you need to name something which every customer loves to listen. You cannot just keep using the name very frequently, maybe about 4 times or 5 times max during a call. And especially if you're coming out with a very important point, you tell the customer's name and then give the point. Because the moment you say the customer's name, the customer's attention comes to you. He likes it and his attention is on you. And when you give an important point, he gives his full attention there. The other psychological trick that you can play is what is called as anchoring. In the initial discussion, you can probably drop in a price which is 1.5 or 2 times the regular price. The customer psychologically gets ready to pay you so much more. But then during negotiation, yes, things do change. But this is called as anchoring effect, because in his mind he said, okay, I need to pay so much, I will do it. We will end the first part of the episode here, and we will meet again in the next episode, where we will discuss more on the various psychological tricks that we can use. If you need to be intimated when the second part of it is uploaded, you need to click the subscription and the bell button and the like button also. Thank you. Till we meet again. Bye bye from Ajay.